We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1 billion, 300 million, trillion market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because obviously this is the first stream in 2025 after traveling a long time, and there is so much to talk about, which is too much for the stream, but we are going to do a very good look at crypto, the current situation, why 2025 is probably going to be the year of massive returns, and we are going to look at the altcoin market, what the altcoins are going to do, why they are not firing yet, but about to go up massively. And yeah, that all. Let me know now if you can hear me now, because in the previous attempt a couple of minutes ago, people were not able to hear me. So please let me know in the chat if you can hear me now, and make sure to stay tuned for the entire stream. Okay, good morning to each and every one of you that is already here. Sorry for the sound problems, but what would be a new year before if there's not at least one problem to fix or solve? Now we got that done. We have a new rare hodler here that came in over the change of the years. If you can find the Groot on this panel here of so many rare hodlers, then you will find Bodo, our newest rare hodler. So welcome, Bodo. And obviously, did I say that my coffee is locked and loaded, ready to go? Because it is. And we definitely need a lot of coffee right now. So I flew back yesterday in the 2 past days, because it takes more than 24 hours from Brazil to Germany. So I'm back in Germany now. And so that was like 3 connections. So I'm a little bit tired, but we will get it done. And the funny part is that of the more than 24 hours, I spent 4 hours on the last mile, because my luggage first didn't come. It was like, oh yeah, it's on the next flight. They booked it just on the last connection. And then I also sat like another 2 hours or so on the 4 stations of the train, because apparently the train isn't anymore what it once was, right? And so once we were known in Germany for punctuality. I think that's gone, right? That's gone. Anyways, that was my little travel story. Other than that, though, flying is extremely punctual, at least for me. Like the everything went smooth. Going to Brazil and also coming back, everything smooth. Great stuff. So Bodo's here says sound is fine. Good morning. The newest rare hodler already coming in with the help. Very nice, thank you. Troy is also here, made it just in time. Welcome back, thank you. Welcome, Bodo. You got my favorite mint number. Mint number 47. Congratulations for that. There are only 2 more sub 40 mints left, and then we're already going to pass 50. Doesn't matter if someone drops or not. Later on, this mint is gone forever after that. So yeah, if you want to become a rare hodler, You can do so by subscribing to the channel and then becoming a channel member with the only tier available, the supporting tier. What airline did you fly on? I did fly with LATAM. That's an airline from Chile that they bought a Brazilian one, if I'm not mistaken, and then they became LATAM, and they're in Star Alliance and cooperate with Lufthansa in some way. So yeah, they're pretty good in my opinion to fly to Brazil and so on. I think that's pretty fine. Anyways, by the way, I'm not affiliated, okay, so please do your own flight booking. Yeah. You have to say everything nowadays, otherwise people come back. It's like, I had to jump out with a parachute because Patient Toddler said this airline is good. Yeah, so here we are. I hope I still know how this is done. Ranging, obviously. Bitcoin only has 2 directions, right? No, actually it has 3 directions: up, down, sideways. Usually we either move with momentum or we go sideways. This is the 4-hourly chart. We can't see really much in the 4-hourly other than that we're starting the day a little bit hesitant. Why hesitant? Because there are economic data is coming in. The PPI month over month, all the inflation data is coming in. Core inflation year over year changes coming in 2 days. So I think that the market will probably just wait and see what this number brings, and then we can expect some more volatility out of that, right? That is going. Bring your own parachute. Yeah, exactly. So you never know what you have to use, like the life vest under the seat or a parachute, or maybe there are only airbags needed under the seat or something like that. You never know, right? Actually, not so funny, because there have been some airlines crashing in the change of the year, which was not great to see. Obviously, not great to see at all. But there are, the year started out wild, and we will discuss that also. Just let us take a quick recap on the more macro Bitcoin chart. You know that I'm not a fan of the short time frames, because you basically can't see anything, as the long wicks also show. We have a little bit, it looks a little bit like like a local top, not the top of the cycle, but a local top. And there are a couple of indicators that we could be in for a little bit more of pain before we go higher in the next at least 7 days, until the man takes office. And it could be something like an ABC correction here, which can look like this, right? We can go down to 87, or even if we take the head and shoulders that is visible on the lower time frames, and we don't know if it will be or won't be, but it's definitely taking this neckline here. There is definitely the possibility for a head and shoulders. Yeah, Jonas, I will do that. I will check later. So you see this here, right? If that is the neckline, you have left shoulder, a completed head, and a right shoulder. And the question mark is, what's happening now, right? We don't know, but let me quickly check if we are on the log or not. But we basically would have, if we break down from this head and shoulders, a target of roughly 77,000, right? If we break down here, a little bit under 77,000. That would be obviously very painful, but it would not end the bear market, and it would even be maybe healthy to put something like that in like a flash crash, a week in that price range, and then continue, right? Flush out all the degeneracy, but that's unconfirmed, right? As long as this neckline is not broken, that's not really a head and shoulders. It's only a complete head and shoulders pattern when we break. And then when we break, even then, this could be just a wick down, right? So we break, we don't want to see this, but we have to. we have to see something like this, right? So break down, you open and close below, you form a bearish retest, like a bearish retest on the structure, and then you come down, right? That could happen, just to prepare our minds, because I know there are a lot of troubled people that think then, if it happens, that was completely unexpected and everyone says, oh, bullish and altcoin season starts tomorrow and whatnot, right? You know, all these if you read crypto Twitter, you see like the same channels post altcoin season starts in 2 days, and they are going to repeat that, or crypto boom, next leg up, whatever starts in 1 day, 2 day. They repeat that until it does, right? Because it feels then to the people that saw that tweet that this guy is like the biggest prophet on earth. And so is also with the crash, right? So many people are here to right now to promote the Bitcoin top, because they hope that in the rare case that this is the Bitcoin top this year, in that rare case, then they are the geniuses and they will make a lot of subscribers, right? So a small sideways chop is possible. We just have to see that none of the top indicators that are known for Bitcoin have flashed, right? Other than seeing a bearish pattern unfolding here, which is a shooting star, there is no top indicator for Bitcoin, right? The only thing that is indicating right now is we might be in for further downside in the next couple of weeks. And also long wicks imply big selling pressure. Now, if we take that as a sign, well, we have long wicks coming closer to the top. This is the previous cycle. You see this massive long wick, and here also, well, that's also happening when you come closer to the top or to a local top, right? Also here, long wick. Well, it's a longer wick, but it's nothing of the, like, it's nothing too crazy, let's put it that way, right? So talking about indicators a little bit more before we go, is the TSI has not reached our top line, so it's now expected to do that somewhere in March if we would continue our pump after correction in a similar way. So the final leg could bring us there. I know that there are people that say it's only going to top out in December, like here, if you take this. But if we form something like this, I'm not willing to wait until to make $3,000 more on the Bitcoin. So that is that. The bullish momentum continues on the Mcade. No cross inside. The RSI is sitting comfortably at 73 and has a lot of room to grow here for the I will show you that ignore that white bar that is for a lower time frame. I will show you in a second. And so the RSI is not close to any expected territory in the 80s, right? Not yet. So all of that says there's more to come. Okay. Now, one more look at lower time frame before we go into a little bit more news-ish thing. Lower time frame RSI for Bitcoin, meaning the daily. There is a downward sloping trend line, so to say. I would mark all of these here and say, okay, this, we go back to it, we reject, then we go lower. Yeah, one possibility. We just had that and it brought us to this lower high here, right? So we had that just here, right? So that could form go a little bit more on a downtrend. But once this breaks and confirms here, we also had that before. Let me show you. We also had that before. We actually had that, I think, on the weekly. I'm not sure. Yeah, we just had that on the weekly here. Something like this. And it brought us to this one here. Let's make that white as well so we can see it. And it brought us to to this move, right? So the breakout, so this flagging, this sideways move is all this downward sloping on the trend line. And then we broke out from the trend line, and the trend line break here brought us a 75% pump. Okay, so let's just say, even if we only get a 50% out of where we are right now, or somewhere in the corrective levels, it would bring us to 130k, right? Our next target is 120k, which would complete the cup and handle pattern. But let's talk about news and what it could imply. So we have these wildfires going on, right? And it's crazy because these are the biggest ones since a long time. I think they're the biggest ones in that area, and maybe the biggest in the US ever, right? So these wildfires are going on, and insurance stocks are set to collapse according to Kobayashi letter. But we have to keep in mind that Kobayashi letter is a bearish biased journal, right? Is bearish all the time, basically. So LA wildfires have officially spread over 40,000 acres, with insurance losses crossing 20 billion. Since the market closed on Friday, estimated damages have tripled to 150 billion. Could this cause an economic ripple effect? Surely it can, and what it also can cause, and this might be the interesting part of it, is if the insurance losses are way higher and cause some insurances to collapse, then it could cause a similar effect to some bank collapses where the US government is urged to step in and save some of the insurance companies with freshly printed money, meaning money printer goes brr, right? So that is one possibility, right? How the money printer could go on. For sure, the market or the Fed is awaiting, and also the US government is awaiting whatever event to turn the money machine on. But definitely what is going to happen is, many people say, oh, the interest rate is going to rise again just because they stopped it right now. I think there's no such possibility, because in refinancing the debt in the US, they have to lower the interest rate. With 36 trillion in US dollars debt and rising, you can't really afford to have interest rates high for a long time, right? So I think that is only, maybe they pause in January now, maybe. Let's actually check what the market thinks. Based on economic data at the moment, let me see. That's a CME group. There was a problem with the content tool. Navigating again. CME Fed Watch tool. You can watch that on your own. Let's see if it's okay. It works. They just changed the link or something like that. Okay, so it seems that the current, they price in a stable, so a no cut. It seems. Current rate is 25 to 450, which is this one. So for January 29th, the market thinks with almost 100% certainty that there's not going to be a rate cut, but then also stable rates are, the market estimates now a high rate that also in March there will be no rate cut, so a rate pause could be in for a longer time, right? But we will see. I think that could be quickly out of the window. Okay, back to the news. In other news, apparently Meta is proposing to their shareholders treasury assets such as Bitcoin. So here's a Bitcoin treasury assessment. Let's read. Supporting statement: as of September 30, Meta has $256 billion in total assets, 72 billion of which is cash equivalents and marketable securities, including US government bonds and corporate bonds. Since cash is consistently being debased and bond yields are lower than the true inflation rate, 28% of Meta's total assets are consistently diminishing shareholder value simply by sitting on the balance sheet. And you have to really let that sink in, because that also shows you every company is now looked at how much cash they have. And before, cash balance or a bit of cash balance was a good thing, right? Now you're looking at your shareholder value and you're like, it's getting debased. Find something else, right? And that was before as well. It was just not that transparent to us because we learned through the crypto cycle how this works, right? Meta should, and perhaps as fiduciary duty too, consider replacing some percentage of those assets with assets that appreciate more than bonds, even if those assets are more volatile short term. Due to its verifiably fixed income, Bitcoin is the most inflation-resistant store of value available. This is especially true compared to other liquid assets. As of December 2024, the price of Bitcoin increased by 124% over the previous year, outperforming bonds by roughly 119% on average. Now, this is funny because you could also write, and outperforming the Meta stock by X%, so better you sell your Meta stock and just buy Bitcoin. So a little bit dangerous game here if you show that actually Bitcoin is destroying everything in its way return wise, not only in this year but also average returns over the last decade. And that actually makes you think, right? Can you be in any other asset than Bitcoin right now, or is it only basically everything gets debased against Bitcoin? If you do that, it really does. I will try to find, there was a video just putting screenshots of every stock, every investment against Bitcoin over a longer time period, and it's just everything's going down. It's crazy. So yeah, you can't really be in anything else than Bitcoin, and obviously short term in altcoins that might outperform Bitcoin if you have the right ones. There are certainly some that do, but yeah, Bitcoin is crazy here. And you see this if you look back a couple of years. So we have here from 2011, the payment of 130 Bitcoin for your order of 2 LBS premium dry processed coffee has been received, and your coffee will be shipped immediately. So someone bought two whatever, like LBS of premium coffee for 130 Bitcoin in 2011. Which is absolutely mind-boggling. So in the same way, people will look at Trump's buying of hamburgers via Bitcoin, right? Or Germany selling off 50,000 Bitcoin, and something like that was at 50K, right? I don't know if we will ever see 50K again. Probably not. Probably the next bear market bottom will be beyond 60. So it is crazy. And now let's listen to. I hope I have the desktop audio in line, but let's listen to here Pantera Capital CEO giving his thoughts on Bitcoin. Let's listen.
You bet your life it's not going to zero?
I used to tell people it could definitely go to zero to try and be, conservative. I don't think it's possible now. 50 million people in the U.S. own it, 300 million people globally. BlackRock and Fidelity are selling it. Like it really has reached escape velocity.
But you're 745,000. I mean, I heard 13 million from Michael Saylor the other day.
I think it can go. It's going up 3 orders of magnitude since we launched our fund. I think it could go up a fourth, and that puts it at 15 trillion market cap, which it still seems relatively small versus 500 trillion of financial assets. That's doable.
Okay. You bet your life.
Okay, so I think there are two important parts in this comment, but I think it's really great. It's a great thought. So the first one is, can Bitcoin still go to zero? And the thought here is, no, it can't, because it's already adopted so much. It has reached, he calls it escape velocity. Okay, so that's the first thing where you say, okay, if it has these great returns and it doesn't go to zero, or basically fails with a high likelihood, let's put it, it's not guaranteed, but a very high likelihood it doesn't fail, it's really the perfect investment of the decade, our only chance to escape, right? And the other part is, where does it go? It's funny because Michael Saylor says it goes to 13 million, right? In timeframe X, 2030 or so, right? And he says it goes to 745K. In both cases, the returns are insane. Like it's insane multiples. If you go out there and tell anyone that in the next 5, 6, maybe 8 years they can make a 10x on their investment, that's absolutely insane. Like from where we are, it's a little bit lower than the 10x to 745K, but from where we are in a bull cycle that is coming closer to its final leg, right? So it's a crazy time to be alive, to have such an asset in front of us, and so many people are still sleeping on it. And if you think about it, like it really destroys everything in its way. Like it destroys the Nasdaq returns, it destroys S&P 500, it destroys 99% of all stocks out there. It completely destroys gold. And the only thing where I say, yeah, all of these US dollar measured targets are valid, 745K will happen as well as 13 million will happen, is because, first of all, this is a measurement against something that comes out of a printer. We can't forget that. And we have seen that the Fed has printed half of the dollar supply in the last 5 years. So what keeps them from printing another 50% of what is there in dollars, right? We don't know what the circulating supply in dollars will be in the next 10 years. So we also can't know how much the dollar will debase other assets. So we can't know how high Bitcoin actually will go. The term Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom is exactly why these guys can make whatever prediction they want, because they also don't know how much money is going to be printed in the next couple of years. So what we really should measure Bitcoin against is not the US dollar or the euro. We have to, because otherwise we can't make streams and talk about anything. But over the next years, we have to look at how many houses in the same area does it buy me today versus in 4 years, right? Or how many, or if I look at, I don't know, in the US at what is it, like a Chevrolet Suburban, right? How many Chevy Suburban can I buy today with the Bitcoin versus then, or with the 0.1 Bitcoin, right? And that's really the only way to measure this, as Bitcoin is a valid investment if the asset prices of what you really need and want in life, what you really want and need in life, if they go down against Bitcoin, then it's valid. And it has to, these as like a Nasdaq share, if it buys you less in the future or a little more, but not as much as Bitcoin, then it's also not worth it, right? So you have to see how much these assets that you want to buy depreciate against these investment vehicles, right? And with Bitcoin, we clearly see it, right? You could buy a house for 100 something Bitcoin last cycle. Now it's 6 Bitcoin. So there's really no inflation anymore if you have your wealth stored in Bitcoin, right? Okay, but enough with that. You all watch Crypto Morning Coffee. You all know that this is the case. But now let's talk about a little bit more about what the fact cycle is. The cycle broken or whatnot? If we compare to 2017, then the cycle is not broken, right? But we also see, if we compare to 2017, which is the orange one, there is a little bit more pain in this dip than there was in 2017, right? So we see it bounces around 2017 but also in 2017 we had rallies, and then we had a massive sell-off after that, almost coming back to the same, forming this nice rounding out bottom structure that we seem to copy right now. It's really crazy. And if that's the case, then yes, our top is in December and not somewhere in September or something like that. We can't know for sure, which means gradual profit taking is the way to go. If we were though to continue to copy 2017, that also means that a couple of weeks, maybe a month out, we're going to go on the next big rally. And that would be extremely bullish, obviously. And it also would mean that there's still massive returns ahead. So we will see how this works. But right now, as I said before in the beginning of the stream, none of the indicators show right now that the top is in. None of the top indicators, right? Also, with altcoin season, and this is one of the posts where altcoin season starts now, right? You can make these measurements all along, but the fact of the matter is Bitcoin dominance tells us whether there's an altcoin season or not. And right now we only see that the technical targets are there for us, or the technicalities of Bitcoin dominance are there to suggest that we had a trend shift to the downside, right? We not more. We did not collapse. We only have a trend shift to the downside, forming lower highs on the macro, but we still want to see a lower low also on the macro, right? In that sense. So we could expect to the next weeks in the Bitcoin dominance, meaning altcoins, to go a little bit more sideways. Everything that you have and see out of your altcoins is nothing compared to what's going to happen in the future, right? So everything that you saw from your altcoins, and you will see that your altcoins are massively up right now, is nothing compared to what is supposedly happening throughout this year, which is at some point altcoins will lose support, right? We will come to the head scratch in a second, but yeah. Adam says, I can't get over that chart. You mean like the how similar it is? Thanos here, let's go OG Vault family in the house. Let's see a little bit the chat here. Domvu says, morning guys. Good morning. By the way, let's have a sip of coffee before it's too cold already. When you're talking, you're not drinking, right? Jonas is in the house. Good morning also to you, Jonas. And yes, we will check a little bit. If I can't check it today, then I will check it the next days. But I think Bezosman is still buying. Yeah, that chart is so insanely similar. It's crazy, right? Okay, so let's see also here and this is a little bit now, we don't know if this chart will become irrelevant or not, right? This is the USDT dominance. Now, the problem is that due to MiCA regulation, in the EU, every exchange and every investor has to switch to USDC, right? What does that mean? That means that the USDT dominance could be a little bit less relevant, and we would have to look at USDC as well. But as for now, I don't think it is, because there's so much USDT still in the chart. We can look at Mcade in a second. I think I still have it open here somewhere. So by the way, before that, I'm extremely bullish on Mcade still. So you see here that in the past weeks, USDT was outflowing off the market a little bit. We have a bounce here on a macro scale. These are weekly candles, right? So you see this bounce, but what we also see, and this is bullish, is if you set a neckline here and you say, okay, this is relevant, right? Then you have left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and potentially a massive break, right? Which is good. Inflow. This is capital inflow into the market. That would be good, right? And as I recall right now, let's do one more thing. If you're searching for head and shoulder patterns, right? Then let's do one thing. Just take this. Take Bitcoin. Invert it. Invert the chart. If you have TradingView, Alt plus I. And then you put your neckline here. There you go. There you go, your neckline. Here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah. Breakout, retest, boom. Okay. That to me looks like the most crashy pattern ever, only that it is inverted, right? Sometimes it helps to invert a chart to then see what exactly is happening there, right? I mean, we had something here like this before. So if we invert this bank now, you see really that this, and now you see that from this head and shoulders pattern, you take this away, you see our mini head and shoulders here where we say, oh, we could go back to 76K. Now you actually want that because it would retest, it would confirm, it would retest this pattern. We have the break of this head and shoulders. You want to come back to this and then go, right? You actually want that now. That's crazy. So here we go. That's your insanely big head and shoulders inverted head and shoulders pattern that you want to go back to 70 something thousand for a nice retest. It can be swift. It would be very hard, and the break of the pattern of that, the break of out of that would be even, I think, would be even more than the 120K, right? So yeah, we're going to talk about Mcade and Veve in a second. Bitcoin power of law quickly, because I think it's more accurate than oh shit. Let me see if I can return here. It would be more accurate than stock to flow, right? Bitcoin power of law says we just got rejected from the linear regression fit, which is the mid band of power of law. We just got a rejection around that regression band, which we also got here, by the way, and which we also got here. Do you see the similarities in each cycle? You have this little blip above the regression band, and then you get the big pullback. You have a little blip above it here, you get a pullback. You have a little blip here, you get the mini chop. So everywhere here we get rejected, right? Here we have a blip above it, we get a rejection again. So it's only a matter of time, in my opinion. I can't. This is. So you can pull that up here. It's Bitcoin power of law. I try to zoom in only a little bit. There we go. Let me see if I can. This is weird to move. Here we go. So this happens all the time, right? This happens all the time. And the upper band, which wasn't reached here, but it was reached here, the upper band right now, and let's say this is the next year, right, until here, is right now already at 382,000 and will be in the end of 26 at 500,000. Okay, so the potential of this run is that Bitcoin goes to 500,000 by the end of the year. Okay, so that's the power of law based possibility. And the worst case scenario in a black swan crash would be right now 37,000 Bitcoin. That's the absolute bottom band, which I don't think that we go to. But if we were to have a black swan and crash, that's the worst case. also a black swan of that magnitude would mean that the money printer goes so hard after that to offset this crisis that we would then subsequently reach the 500,000. That's so crazy. Okay. Anyways, altcoins are seeing red on the week, which is understandable, right? In this environment. It's a buy the dip opportunity. Even on the month, altcoins are red, red, red. Some altcoins are doing good. AI agents are like completely going nuts. I didn't see that coming. I missed that and I didn't buy them, right? Okay, so that's my bad, right? Hey, Green Lantern, what's going on? GM boys, late today. Good to have you back, PH. Everyone, by the way, please smash up the like button. I didn't ask for that the whole stream. Smash the like button if you enjoy this type of content. And we are going to be back here with the dailies, with the daily streams or almost daily streams. We are back here. Now, let's check out Mcade and Veve as it was asked for. Quick refresh here on the chart. There we go. Mcade. Okay. I think it can't get more bullish than that. I think Mcade is only starting here, right? So let's just say this is your, let's make it a little bit thicker, yeah? This is your previous high here, right? This. You're just retesting this previous high in a bigger correction. From there, it's expected to go into price discovery. First time price discovery, right? Rejected at previous known high, formed a massive double bottom. I mean, it doesn't get much more bullish than that. This, in my opinion. Like Mcade, this would be even a good, if you don't have Mcade, that would be even a good entry, seeing that this holds, obviously. Volume is going away, yes, and there might be a deeper correction. Who knows if this doesn't hold? But if it holds, it would be extremely bullish, right? If it doesn't hold, this is the next support. In any case, this holding would be very bullish. Double bottom, retest, continuation, right? We will wait and see. And by the way, also like TSI and stuff like that doesn't really have much to say on such a short time frame, because there's not much data on it. So I would rely more on structural here. We just had like this could be something like a 1, 2, 3, like something like this, wave 5 coming in here, 5 wave move or so. We don't know. But for me, bullish, I will hold my Mcade. Maybe I add to it. We will see, right? Veve, USDT. Let's check. Veve USDT on Maxi on, probably there's more history on Gate.io. Oh yeah, this was, by the way, if you remember Crypto Morning Coffee of before Christmas, we discussed we discussed this, right? We discussed how this looks like Arweave break, then it was flagging, boom, breakout. Now we are basically almost back to where this was, where this previous high was, and of course you expect a rejection here. Of course you expect something from Veve here to have a corrective move, which would be absolutely natural, healthy, and expected. But I think also Veve probably going higher. You could see something forming like this and then go, right? You come back to this or something like that for a test, build out structure, something like that, right? And then you continue higher, right? So that's for me, Mcade, Veve, two nice projects. What I would say is if you are massively in Veve here from way down below here, right? Let's just say you came in here, yeah? You're up 500%. You might want to take your initial investment and just let the rest ride. On the flip side, if you say it doesn't matter really, if I, like, let's say you put in $100, you are now at $600, and you say, I don't care, I just let the $600 sit, I'm okay losing it all, that's also fine, right? I mean, it depends on your risk tolerance and how much you need money right now. But I'm just saying, hey, no one has ever been broke because of taking profits, right? In big profits. So I just like to go with this, like, oh, you put in $100 here, it's now 600. You take the $100, and you can even use it if it comes back or for a bigger retest or something like that, right? Flo, what's going on? Good morning, great to be back. Absolutely. Bitcoin will be on fire once again in a second. Retail isn't really there. I think retail has other problems right now, but yeah. Okay, so Veve, Ecomi Veve, let's check. Let's check here what we have with the unique users on the Veve. What happened here? Was there a bigger airdrop or something like that? December 20. Oh yeah, the Christmas tree. I think this is the Christmas tree. Veve got 5,000 unique holders because of the Christmas tree, which is basically wallets that had MCP points apparently, or that at least had something, went to 0, and now they got an airdrop, right? So we basically identified 4,000 paper hands. Well, yeah, okay. So, but actually, you see here, this is quite good. So this is really good because, so you see here, the 900 or so, 1st of January, right? So close to 900, 14 off 900. Instead of this number dropping now because everyone's selling the Christmas tree, the number is rising so they gained 50 users over the last 2 weeks, despite the fact that people just got a free Christmas tree that they technically could sell. I don't know if anyone's buying Christmas trees though, this is the other side, right? But let's check out activity. So people are minting this art drop here, running mon. By the way, next person that becomes a rare hodler will be a running mon on the rare hodler stream if you want. Maserati also being transferred. Maserati drop was quite successful, if I saw that correctly. Veve grossing like 50,000 plus or so from that in the first. Something like that was pretty successful. Then this Disney drop here. A lot of minting going on since a couple of in the last 20 minutes. A lot of running mon minting is going on. People are still buying comics, collectibles. Yeah, I can't complain. Like, this is all in the last 25, in the last 30 minutes. This is the reason why it's going up. People are buying the Christmas tree though. That's not the, here you see the time, by the way. I was a little bit out of the picture, but okay, so if people are buying the Christmas tree, if people would want to offload, they can sell the Christmas tree, right? So people are buying the Christmas tree. Now, Bezojman, I don't know if, let me quickly check if we can. So this is the Bezojman wallet. Where is it? Where is the leaderboard? Oh, there it is. This is the Bezojman wallet. I don't know if I can copy the wallet address. Ah, damn. But that's the wallet address, I think. Maybe I can take it from here, and then we throw it into a muter scan. Let's see if that works. Let's put it in here. Bezojman has stopped buying 21 days ago. So this is what Jonas wanted to see. Actually, he has minted the Christmas tree. He has bought more X-Men coins, and then he stopped buying. Interesting. So this, I don't think that. So 21 days, maybe he's on holidays like me, right? I mean, I stopped making live streams also like 30 days ago because I was on holidays. I just made videos, right? But for sure, it's interesting if the biggest whale is of the opinion that he doesn't want to buy anymore, or he has enough, right? That would be interesting to know. And this is something else. Yeah, we should still see it as a transfer if he's now buying an Ecomi, right? We should still see the transfer from one wallet to another, as also the collectibles that are bought in Ecomi are being transferred still on the app and should be visible on Immutoscan, right? Yeah, but that's a Vechain wallet address. He might come back for buying. We don't know. We will observe. But 21 days ago is a long time ago. For Vechain usually bought every day, right? So what's the last that he bought? Some comics, some Ultraman. Nothing that hints at big grails and then completing his collection or something like that, right? So, and he didn't used to mint much. Here he minted something. He didn't used to mint much, but for some reason he stopped stacking. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. I don't think it has to do with what is going on. Like there's also all these talks about the lawsuit Veve against, not Veve, Orbis against MD Technology and so on. Which, by the way, doesn't have a final judgment. So we have to wait and see what comes out of that. And we will cover it here on stream. The last judgments are regarding correspondences between it's regarding one correspondence, whether it's allowed or not in court, right? And I see a lot of people that are making more out of that than it really is, and I think also it's whether MD Technology, in other words Ben Godenzi, gets shares from Orbis or not. It's about 3% of the shares, and it has nothing to do with the NFTs or the Ecomi token, right? So either he gets the shares and then he wants to sell them in Orbis, like shares in Orbis, or he gets US dollars, or he gets nothing, right? So that's basically what's at stake in that lawsuit. So it's way less than is being discussed at the moment. From what I can see, right? From what I can see here. Yeah. So guys, I will keep it with that today. We will be back in the next days to discuss way more. We will come back a little bit more organized than this today. Make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, consider becoming a rare hodler. And yeah, I leave it with that today, guys. Thank you so much for joining, all the rare hodlers. Thank you so much for the support. I think this year will be absolutely great. Troy Paris says, I am a bit concerned the floors are getting super low on a lot of the collectibles. If there's not enough buying and the dilution is too hard, then the floors are extremely low, right? I think the only thing that matters in the immediate short term is the floor of the grails. So I think what really matters is the floor of Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, a Grail, Amazing Spider-Man, a partner statue, and so on. But yes, of course, Veve collectibles could be sold off so hard that the floors are insanely low, right? And then yeah, we will see how it is if and when more buying kicks in on Omi. But for sure, it's not great, right? And no one cares about NFTs right now, so we will see. But yeah, it's a concern. I agree with that. But the FUD is also extremely hard regarding lawsuits and so on. So we need to await judgment. If the judgment is of such nature that Veve is gets wrecked, right? Which I don't think, but we will see. Then, and also you have to keep in mind that the other players in the space went bankrupt just because of that, right? Not because of lawsuits, but because no one bought their stuff anymore and their floor prices went lower, and then people got scared and tried to liquidate as well. So that is a fact that kicks in, especially when money is drained out of the market like that, right? Troy Perry says, I know I have not bought very much in the last 2 months either. Yeah, exactly. And I think many people haven't. Energy has though, right? So that's definitely crazy. But we will see. I mean, it was always clear, and this is something that I want to be very clear. It was always clear that Veve going out of business because they don't sell anymore, and us losing all of our investment into the collectibles is and was a real possibility. That was clear from the beginning. So if that would happen and all these collectibles are not worth a dime anymore in a year, well, then it is what it is, right? Then I would be fine with that because I made my peace with that in the beginning when I put in the money. Now, I personally don't think that this is going to happen. And when excitement comes back into the market regarding altcoins and NFTs, the foundation for that is laid by Avalanche with these games, right? Games lead to NFTs, NFTs lead to crazy hype cycle, right? But first of all, we need to see more fundamental, more global things to come into place. The money printer has to turn on, the DXY has to turn around, the altcoins have to explode, the Bitcoin dominance has to crash, the retail interest and investment into space has to come back, which is not there yet, neither in altcoins nor in NFTs, a little bit in Bitcoin, and then we will see. We'll take it from there. Now, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night or afternoon, and I see you and catch you in the next